Good evening and good to have you with us in this edition of the Urban Debate. Viewers, tonight we again start off with a focus on the pandemic. The pandemic that many in our country believe is over. The pandemic that many in our country believe is not a big concern anymore, but is still actually very much here. And in fact, in many parts of our country, we are staring at the possibility of a second wave or a fresh wave, depending on how you categorize these waves. But a next round is very much possible if we do not get our act together. For the past couple of months, we'd been seeing cases were coming down, even as things were opening up, even as restrictions were being eased, even as more and more people were beginning to come out of their homes and beginning to travel. We did have a handle on the number of cases. But it seems somewhere down the line, maybe we took it too much for granted. Maybe we completely decided to not follow protocols, not wear a mask, not follow social distancing at all. And so what we are staring at is a rise in cases and return of restrictions, especially in states like Maharashtra. Tonight, we're going to break down our conversation into multiple angles. We're going to talk about the rising cases, where it is happening, in which of India's states, what is the testing level that we're doing there, and why is it taking place, what is the steps that the government is now taking. Then we're going to put the spotlight on the next very important aspect, and that is on vaccination. Earlier today, Home Minister Amit Shah, along with the Union Health Minister and officials from the Health Ministry and AIIMS, held a key meeting to discuss the resurgence of COVID as well as the vaccination. So I am going to talk about that because India, while has millions of doses ready to go, we are even exporting them at a very large scale. We have them in our stock rooms at a very large scale. We are just not giving it out to people. And that is becoming a bigger concern, the slow pace. If we don't pick up pace now, it's going to become a big concern with the second wave round the corner and a slow vaccination drive. So tonight we will have experts to talk about all of that. Let me tell you, Maharashtra in just 24 hours has reported almost 7,000 cases. If you look at the numbers, in the first week of January, Maharashtra was barely reporting 3,500 cases. We have more than doubled since then. Kerala, over 4,000 cases. Now, while these two are still carrying the biggest chunk, and the other states, number 3, number 4, number 5, are much far away in terms of daily cases. But they are also seeing a constant rise. A daily reportage of over 300 to 350 cases in Punjab is a concern. Similarly, Karnataka and even Madhya Pradesh. In fact, if you take a look at the active cases, Kerala has about 58,000 active cases, Maharashtra 52,900, Karnataka 6,000, Tamil Nadu 4,000, West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Punjab and Madhya Pradesh then come in. So clearly, the slow rise that we are seeing is not just limited to 1 or 2 states, and with the kind of travel we are looking at, it is only bound to go up in other states. Now, take a look at some of the visuals that we've actually got, because the onus is on you and me as much as it is on our government's viewers. People roaming around without masks, without following any social distancing norms, shopping in markets as if there is nothing wrong in this world, as if the pandemic doesn't even exist, attending weddings, going to crowded pubs and restaurants, having a great time, completely oblivious of the fact that they still need to be following the basic rules. We cannot afford to do this until a large percentage of our country has been vaccinated. So let's take up the first aspect. The first aspect is about the rising cases, the possible causes, and what we need to do. And I say good evening to Dr. Naresh Trehan, Chairman and MD of Medanta, who joins us this evening. Dr. Bishnu Panigrahi, Group Head for Medical Strategy and Operations at Fortis Healthcare. Dr. Syed Hasnain, Professor of Biological Sciences at the Indian Institute of Technology in Delhi, Vice Chancellor at Jamia Hamdard, and also Dr. T.P. Lahane, Director for Medical Education and Research in Maharashtra. Let me actually go across to Dr. Naresh Trehan first. Dr. Trehan, It's it's very odd because when we were opening up, when we were celebrating, when there was a festival season around the corner, even towards the end of December and January, and people had begun to travel in huge numbers, the numbers weren't reflecting that. Suddenly now in the month of February, we are beginning to see these spikes. What has changed? What's going on?
So, the actual number to compare is not December holidays, but the Diwali and Puja holidays. That's when the spike came right after that. And it surged up and then started settling down. There was a mini surge in the time of the holidays of December, but then it has settled down quite a bit. But in the last few days, even in Delhi, we are beginning to see the numbers creeping up a little bit. So if I was to use Medanta as a barometer, we had gone down to 10, 12, 13, 14 patients in the hospital. But today, in the last 4 days, there are now 28. So the basic thing is that there is definitely a real danger, and I have been saying it again and again, and we must pay attention to it, is the fact that the numbers are telling us that we are in danger because of, one, the fact that we were getting some comfort from the fact that the numbers had got down, and this happens typically in many populations around the world, that you think that it's over. But it's not over. You cannot actually shed the three mantras that we talk about. You must practice COVID safe behavior. And that is one part of it. So we need to reiterate to everybody, the government is reiterating, we are reiterating, and the public needs to understand that it's too early to throw away the caution. Other thing is, the only weapon we have to blunt the onslaught is vaccine. So vaccine, as we are all saying, because especially in the looming danger of this wave coming again, we should accelerate vaccination as fast as possible. There has to be some number fixing in the sense that there are varied reports we get. On one hand, we get a report that a lot of vaccines are already available, the doses are available, the manufacturers say so.
Right.
And then hear from other side that, we are not sure of how much will be available. That's why we have to go in slow. But whatever it is, we need to save our country.
Absolutely. Dr. Trehan, if I may just come in here, because yes, and vaccination is going to be a large part of our conversation today. I think that's what everybody wants to know about. But if you can just hold on to those thoughts, because I just want to address the point that you initially made about the rising cases. And I also want to go across to Dr. T.P. Lahane, because Dr. Lahane, Maharashtra, and in many ways, it's not different, because even in the first few months, or actually for most of this pandemic year, Maharashtra has been topping the charts in terms of maximum cases. But this sudden spike that we are seeing, even while the rest of the country is opening up and they are not witnessing it, what do we attribute this to? Our high density?
Basically, if you see, the number of in Maharashtra is rising. Also, you can see in Kerala it is rising. Here, the important thing is, one, yes, it is a high density in Mumbai, so it is rising in Mumbai. If you see the Amravati or Yavatmal, here also it is rising. Now, this rising is basically, we are not doing using this mask is very, very important. There were so many marriages. The people are gathering together. So COVID appropriate behavior is not followed up. And because of that, as the virus is there in the, it is in the endemic area. So as virus is there, we will have to follow the COVID appropriate behavior. That is not happening. And I think that is the cause where the number is increasing. If you see behind also in the November or in the October also, every time, as it is an epidemic, in epidemic you get the surge. It comes ups and downs. It is like that, like a wave. So it is now coming up. And I think we must worry. So what we are doing is we have now increased the tracing and testing. Also, there is a contaminated zones, and also the district lockdowns, so that it should not spread nearby areas. So that things we are taking care, so that number will reduce.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, COVID-19 restrictions have come across in many parts. Amravati is in a lockdown for a week now. It initially started with a weekend lockdown, but that's now been extended for a week. Yavatmal has a night curfew, but there are stricter regulations that have also come in many other districts. Now, would one thing be that we look at reduced travel, that we bring back some of the travel restrictions so as to ensure that it doesn't spread? Dr. Bishnu Panigrahi, let me come across to you. Your own analysis of what we are looking at and what can be done, to ensure that we don't hit the second wave.
Thank you. On behalf of Fortis, I'd like to say that one of the things that we must look at is that we are not back to normal. There's been a laxity in the part of the people in general that we are back to normal. So they have dropped the guards. The 3 Ws or 3 commandments that we should be looking at is that wear your mask, wash hands, and maintain social distance or watch your distance. These things are not being taken care of. As you rightly mentioned, you go out anywhere, now you see people walking around without masks. So this is the cause of the spread. And I think so we must be very cautious about travels also. There is too much of traffic all across. I think some sort of self-restraint should be there. And this messaging has to go out. And the most important, another thing which we need to refocus on is that testing, contact tracing, and isolation. We have to focus on this. And the third part is now the vaccination drive has come. We must give credit to the government, the way they've controlled the COVID pandemic when it happened, and the way we have gone ahead when you compare with the global trends. The vaccination exercise in the last, just about a month, we did 1 crore plus vaccinations, and it has gone to the frontline workers, the healthcare workers, the frontline workers. And what we are hearing is that probably by next month, the people above 60 will be given, and the modalities are being worked at. And the other message that I would like to give is that, as Dr. Triyan rightly mentioned, we must follow the COVID guidelines that are there on the 3 things that we need to look at. And the other thing is that a request to all our medical professionals also, most of them are talking positively, but sometimes we do hear some negativity about some of the vaccines. And I have taken my first dose. My second dose is due day after tomorrow. I didn't have any problems. And the message has to go out, because the reason why the vaccination is happening for the healthcare workers and frontline workers is that they need to be protected. If they protect themselves, they at least, God forbid, they're not going to have any major hospitalization. They will take care of the patients who are coming in. And most important message that should go out is that when the healthcare workers are vaccinated and taken care of, their near and dear ones at home are also not under risk. And then we look at the 60 plus. So this is where we are looking at. So the message is, again, follow the 3 commandments.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to give 2 examples to our viewers and our panelists also of how I don't think the people are getting the point right now, which is why we need to perhaps amplify it more. The visual that we were just running before this was a visual from Juhu Beach here in Mumbai, where you have these civic body volunteers, marshals really, who remind people to follow the norms, to maintain their distance. And there are some people who got into a bit of a scuffle. And if you look at the beach, extremely crowded, nobody is really following any norms or even cares about wearing a mask properly and roaming around. The second instance actually just came today, and that's an instance of people who are traveling from Kerala to Karnataka and sat on a protest on the border saying we are not going to get ourselves tested. Now, Karnataka has tightened the restrictions, especially for travelers who are coming in from Kerala and from Maharashtra, the 2 states that are its neighbors and that are actually right now witnessing the highest number of cases. And because of this, they've brought in these restrictions, but people are finding their way out. People are finding ways to evade the norms, to protest, to refuse doing the testing without realizing that they're possibly then asking for more restrictions, which then makes it very official. Stricter lockdowns. Today in Mumbai, raids are being carried out at restaurants, at pubs. Wedding halls have been shut down purely because people are just not following norms. We showed a visual even of a wedding ceremony. 500 people, 1,000 people are now attending. Dr. Hasnain, is that primarily a reason, the fact that we assumed it's gone, or we kind of told ourselves we don't really care anymore, we are fed up? Dr. Hasnain, I think you're on mute.
I think it's more to do with the concern that we think it's all over. I'm reminded of a wonderful study that was published from the group in an established group. It was a mathematical modeling. And they, in fact, did predict back in October or so last year that the second wave will come around February, March.
Yes.
So this second wave is coming. What they did not predict was the mutations that are coming in, and that we are yet to see the effect of mutations. Effect of the new variants, the 3 international variants which have come up in Brazil, in South Africa, and in UK. And these in turn, for example, if you're talking about vaccinations, look at what happened in South Africa. The vaccine that was being given was turning out to be not effective in more than 75% of the people who were vaccinated because they were all getting infected with the new variant. So I think in India, when we are seeing a new wave, it has more to do with the fact that we are thinking everything is over and we are back to square one. And that's where I think Dr. Trehan was very right in saying that we need to shun this idea that everything is over. It is there. And if you read what Tony Fauci, the advisor to the US president, had to say, he said, even well into 2022, America will have to wear masks. And India is no different. India will also have to. But what we are seeing today, go to the market side, people wear masks, if at all, they wear only up to here or like this, even mouth is open, forget about nose being covered. Now, this is not the way to wear masks. I think you need to bring in these 3 conditions where we can prevent. And even vaccination, let me also add, even if we are vaccinating, I need to comment at a later time about what we need to do to revisit our vaccination strategy. But even the current strategy, we should all be aware, vaccination does not make you someone who will not be able to spread the virus or someone who will not be able to get a new infection. I think this is very important to get into our minds. You are going to be protected if at all you have antibodies in the system. And there is also a debate on how long you need to get the second shot. Is it 28 days or is it longer than that? This depends on that. And in India, we are not making any effort in trying to see what are our antibody titers. And that is something I think we are going to make a mistake. We are going to give ourselves a false sense of protection. And then we'll say we are vaccinated and I'm going around. I think that is something we need to worry about.
Actually, let's move on to the next big conversation point, which is the vaccine. And Dr. Hasnain, very quickly, I want to follow up on what you said about, you said that India, we're not tracking how our bodies are generating antibodies or responding for how long we have that. But wouldn't that be part of our vaccination drive since everything's digital? Wouldn't we be tracking people who are getting these vaccines?
Yes, we should be, but we have no mechanism to do it. Even we have a wonderful mechanism set up all over the country to vaccinate people. But I'll tell you, even in India, the people do want to get vaccinated, but there are groups which feel that why should I worry about vaccination? In the countries like France, I would say about 59% of the French people do not want to get vaccinated. In countries like UK, about 89% want to get vaccinated. And that's why you can see, if you compare now what was the scenario in UK about a month ago and what it is today, there seems to be some decline. But in India, I'm afraid if we do not have any tracking system and if we do not do very rigorous mechanism of vaccinating not only healthcare providers, but also letting the private sector come into vaccination, those who can afford to get vaccinated by paying, I think we should allow. There are some sections of the community which want to get vaccinated because they have some confidence. And I think our vaccine in India, the one made by India itself, I personally believe that vaccine will have a larger chance of being successful than other vaccines for a number of reasons.
Right. So then let's talk about whether we can or we are a few weeks away from stepping it up, if that's the point. Dr. Trehan, obviously, the first few weeks, everybody knew that we will take it slow. We should take it slow to understand the system, to see if there are any loopholes, problems, and fix those glitches. But now do you believe we are just dealing the whole drive?
So 1 crore vaccination down and not recording any major adverse event. People do get pain, fever for a day or so. Nothing much more than that has been reported. That the confidence level of the public in accessing vaccine should be there now. The second thing is that, you see, if there is hesitancy, and it's a volunteer system, we must roll on and bring in those people who are willing to take it, especially the ones who are older and with comorbidities, because this is the demand. Every day we get hundreds of calls saying, when will we get the vaccine? When will we get the vaccine? It's a legitimate concern with some people that, people are getting vaccine and we are not getting it. So I think the government is working on it right now. In fact, there was a major meeting today on this whole subject, and I think something will be announced in the next day or so. So the point is that you should allow the private sector, but you should only allow it with a fixed price. The government should control the price and give the allowance for administration, so that there is no hijacking of the system, there is no abuse of the system, there is no profiteering. I think that's the key. The government, it happened in the testing phase, where the government opened the first their own laboratories, the government laboratories, but then to step up the testing, they allowed private labs to open, and they fixed the price, and everybody followed it. And the public was educated that this is what they're supposed to pay. So I think we can take out all the kinks out of it and move forward as fast as possible, because that is the only weapon that we have. And like said earlier, that look, even in spite of the fact that you get the vaccine, there will be a period of time, maybe 6 months or more, that when enough people get vaccinated, enough people develop what we call herd immunity, only then will you be able to take down your masks or relax on the COVID appropriate behavior. So this is too early to celebrate. In fact, we may have a heavy price to pay, because India will not be able to bear a burden of another nationwide lockdown. So that is why it becomes even more important that we move as fast as we can. We have done very well with controlling it. We should not lose the initiative now.
Yes, because let's look at it, in the larger perspective, and you mentioned it, that we are now giving second doses to people who got the first dose, say, in the first couple of weeks. We've just reached that. Those people itself will take a couple of weeks at least for the overall effect to kick in for your vaccine. And we've just about done 1 crore. We have to at least be able to do, government's own target was 30 crore by July or August. We're far away from that. Now, our own reporters have been digging into this, and we have been given to understand that Serum Institute is able to manufacture about 50 million doses per month. They should be able to ramp it up to 65 million doses per month. Add to that whatever Covaxin and Bharat Biotech is able to do as far as Covaxin is concerned. Dr. Lahane, do you believe that there needs to be a concerted effort, and the states should also start now demanding this from the center to say, well, let's open it up to the next lot? Are we ready to open it to more people?
I think, yes, it is like Dr. Trehan and everybody was saying, we'll have to vaccinate. See, we require an herd immunity. Herd immunity, it may be because of you can get infection or because of the vaccine. And I think as the Covaxin is from the government of India and Bharat Biotech, we should enhance the number, and we should also permit or allow the people who are more than 50 years of age and those who are, you can say, high comorbid, so that we can protect them from such type of disease. And I think the vaccine is the only key now, so that we can reduce the whatever wave is going up. We should reduce that wave. As our India is very densely populated, so we will have to now, I think, enhance the vaccine. And Covaxin, I think it is a very good vaccine. I have personally the experience of the Covaxin, and also at our place we are also doing the trial in that. So I think we must increase the doses, and also give it to all the common public, and also the private hospitals should be permitted. I think that decision will be taken by the government of India. But now this is the right time that vaccine should be given to the citizens of India.
Yes, in fact, I wanted to ask you if you can give us some insights onto, the state's preparation. How many vaccination centers have you managed to open? If you're opening more, and in these vaccination centers, Dr. Lane, many tell us, from our ground reportage, that you're ready with more doses. You're waiting, but people are not coming in.
No, see, the people who are now the, you can say, health workers or the frontline workers. So few people, it is not like that they are not coming, but 70% people are coming and they are taking the vaccine. As you know, in all the world also, all 100% people are not coming for the vaccination. They might have got their reservation, but we are definitely prepared. I will tell you the preparation is well, because the temperature required is -2 to -8. And there are 511 centers. Now it is ready today. And also whenever we want to carry, we have got all the boxes, cold boxes, chain and everything. Also the trucks, also everything is ready, so that we can vaccinate at 511 places today, and we can increase it to more than that. Means the preparedness is there. Only the vaccine permission should be there, or this, if it is permitted, then we can vaccinate all citizens.
All right. In fact, I wanted to ask one more question in reference to this. And obviously, the next group of people, Dr. Panigrahi, will be those above the age of 50, those with comorbidities. Now, we don't know the priority order which will be there, because the government is yet to make those announcements. Hopefully, in a couple of days, we'll have those announcements. But is that data ready? And what role can the private sector play as we open it up to the next level? Will that be essential for speeding up vaccination?
It's a very nice question. It's essential. And if you look at the history of the last, since the pandemic started, the private sector stepped up. They partnered with government, and across the country, length and breadth of the country, it was the private sector who really helped out. And they have again reached out to the government, and we are working on coordinating with them. And whenever they give us the permission, we'll go ahead with that, for looking at vaccinating the people who are above 60 with comorbid conditions. And as you rightly said, we just in about a month we did about 1 crore or 10 million, but the target is 30 crores oblique 300 million, and the timeline is around August of this year. But the rate that we are going, if we want to do it at this rate with the present system, we'll not be able to do it. We will go into over into 2022, and the elephant in the room, I say, is that we need to step up, involve the private sector. Private sector is willing to come up, and we obviously the government will have a strict oversight on how the vaccines are being distributed, who are getting it. Proper monitoring, auditing should be there, and as Dr. Tian rightly mentioned, there should be no profiting, no pilferage, and private sector is there to help out the government.
So do you also see this being done via the CoWIN app? Essentially, at the end of the day, we would need a centralized database. Now, no matter who carries out the vaccination process, it will have to be put into that one single system.
Yes, they're looking at the Aadhaar database and the CoWIN. So because there were some glitches, and hopefully, probably in a week or so earlier than that, whatever glitches were there should be corrected, because that's the way to go forward. And then once you log in, you will be told that which center you can go to, the people above 60, whether because the government is also contemplating whether to allow some people to buy and get themselves vaccinated. So that option also will be given by the government, and that's still work in progress. But the CoWIN app, glitches are there. Glitches are being corrected. Hopefully, within a short time, it should be ready for fully being operationalized.
So let's try and understand that. And Dr. Hasnain, if you have any views on why it is that we may be, taking so many precautions or being so cautious before we reach the next stage. Or could it just be because we have to vaccinate people at such a large scale? Even if we say only above the age of 50, it's still a very huge number when you talk about India's population. Could that be a reason that the government is taking it slow? Because we have the doses, Serum has it, Bharat Biotech has it, we have the agreements in place, but we are not picking up the order.
Yeah, I think I would say the major thing that we need to prepare ourselves is post-vaccination. We are absolutely blank on that. We are just simply vaccinating and hoping everything will be fine. We have no clue what is actually happening to our body after we have taken the first shot. We are talking about herd immunity. We are talking about giving it to a larger section of people. But we should also have some random study carried out, which is very important for long-term control. And that is, if we don't prepare ourselves today, tomorrow it may be a problem. And also, we have no clue on when we are vaccinating people. Although there are exclusions of who cannot be given and who can be given. And that's something where we have not been able to track the effect of those who have been infected with the variant. So I think these are issues. My scientific reason that I can give is that the variants will perhaps be able to survive those who have even get the variant if they have been vaccinated with the Covaxin, because it's a complete viral, complete virus. It doesn't looks at one particular part of the virus. So I think that is an issue. I would strongly urge that we need to continue this wearing of the preventive measures. We need to continue large-scale vaccination, involve the private sector, and also develop a strategy to monitor the vaccinated people, those who have been vaccinated. How are they doing? I don't think we can run the risk of assuming that herd immunity will come in very soon. This is a virus that is typically a flu-like virus, where whatever little we know scientifically about this virus is that it will re-emerge itself, and perhaps every year, like with the way we take a flu shot, we may have to keep taking a flu shot, but similarly for a vaccine, viral SARS shot. So I think we need to be prepared in the long run. There are advantages of India, and I think we have done very well. The government has done very well in controlling it so far, but I think we cannot be complacent at this time.
Dr. Tran, are there any, numbers, calculations that you've come across? How many doses should we have before we take it to the next level? And I'm not even saying before we put it out in the open market, but even at least for the next age group.
There is a little bit of a disconnect here. On one hand, the manufacturers are claiming that they have the capacity and they have already in storage millions and millions of doses. On the other hand, the government is concerned whether it is true or not, and will there be a problem when they start vaccinating, you need the second dose and you need all this, so there is some concern. Okay, we need to bridge that gap. We need to find out the truth and deal with it accordingly. Now, to what Dr. Hasnain was saying, whether these vaccines are having any effect, at Medanta, we are doing a detailed prospective study where we test the antibody levels before a person is given the vaccine, 2 weeks after the first dose, just before the second dose, and 2 weeks after the second dose. So we have a good documentation to say what is the response at what level. And what is interesting is that now these are all healthcare workers, by the way, doctors and healthcare workers. 46% have already shown significant antibodies before their first dose. And after their first dose, 2 weeks later, the ones who have already had it, their antibodies have shot up very high. So 400, 500. So that is where we are actually studying all this, analyzing it, and we shall have a full data in another 4 weeks because people have gotten their second dose and they're just or about to get it. And 2 weeks later, we would have done all the antibodies on all of them, and we will publish that data and make it available in the public space. So your good point, Dr. Hasnain said that what is the response that we are getting? But our initial study, without breaking the sanctity of the data, is absolutely indicating that there is a good response. Wonderful. Now, we shall know what happens, and this raises the second question. Do people who have already had it, do they need a second dose? Now, this is another thing because ours is an ICMR approved trial. We will give the data to them, and they may be able to extrapolate it to say what should be the national policy on that. So there is a lot of question marks, but till that we see the end of this, which is certainly not here right now. We need to keep the caution up. We need to work tirelessly like we did when we actually fought it. India fought the pandemic extremely well.
Absolutely.
But you can blame it on COVID fatigue. You can blame it on whatever people's careless behavior. But they must understand that there is a price to pay.
Yes.
If we do not understand that and we do not regulate, there's no reason why there should be 100 or 200 or 300 people weddings. We should ban it. You can allow weddings, maybe 25, maybe 50 in a given space outside. Everything should be outside. So
Absolutely.
those are the kind of things that we can make the rules, and the states can do it. And I see a lot of states are monitoring it on the street. There are marshals on the street, which is good. But really, it is something of major concern. We should not really lose the momentum. And when we are winning the war, we let the guard down and lose it. That would be terrible.
Absolutely, that would be very terrible, and it would just like make all the efforts that we've taken in the past 1 year, all of that would be down the drain if we actually let our guard down now and allow COVID to get the better of us. And thank you so much for raising the other point. I just wanted to add to that actually, Dr. Turan, the fact that yes, like vaccine manufacturers are claiming that they have 50 million in stock. That's what they can manufacture monthly. The government, we know in the month of January, when they did sign the first agreement or did agree to a contract with Serum, it was to say that, okay, we are right now picking up an X amount from you, and we will continue to pick up, a lot more by the month of April. So that's been agreed upon. But of that, only 30 million has been picked up from Serum Institute. So I'm only hoping that while Adar Poonawalla is tweeting saying that we've been told to not export and keep everything ready for and prioritize for India, I hope he's told the government as well how much he has already, and so that we can move to the next stage if we are ready with those many doses. Thank you so much to the first set of panelists who've joined us. Really appreciate all of the insights that we got from our experts. Let me also say good evening to the next set who are joining us right now. Dr. Mohan Gupte, founder for Director for National Institute of Epidemiology from Chennai, former ICMR National Professor. Dr. Hemant Thakkar, consultant and senior physician at Justlok, and Reach Candy joining us this evening. And Shaina NC of the BJP. Shaina NC, I'm sure you've seen it yourself and you've heard it with people asking you the same question that we get asked and medical experts get asked. When are we opening it to the next set of people? When is the vaccine going to be available to those above the age of 50?
So for starters, let's understand that in a state like Maharashtra, we have already administered 9,26,000 vaccines. In a state like Kerala, 4,38,000. In a state like Punjab, 1,36,000. Chhattisgarh, 3 lakh plus. And in Madhya Pradesh, 6,44,000. So the government is on the job. It's not as if we are not here to serve the people in any which way. And if at all, we have been applauded world over. I'm not sitting here for brownie points on behalf of Prime Minister Modi, but I can clearly tell you that whether it is Justin Trudeau or world leaders who have collapsed like the UK, everyone is talking about the India story for 2-3 reasons. One, we have been able to contain in terms of tracing, testing and treatment. We've had the best medical experts, some of whom are on your panel and your show today. And I think it's important to give them credit too, because you have a majority of the cases only coming from 5 major states. And these 5 major states have had to work with the central government. Of course, the government is ensuring as a goodwill gesture, we also distribute vaccines to our neighbors. It could be Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, and some of whom have bought commercially as well. So it's not as if it's just a freebie. So the government is very, very clear that we will work in a phased manner. As far as Serum Institute is concerned, 21 million vaccines, of which 11 million were delivered in January, 10 million more to come. And by April, a chunk of it will also be given. So like you had polio, you have a situation in India where there is a commitment of the health ministry under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi. And these accolades is not the...
No, we seem to have lost that audio line with Shaina NC. Shaina, I'm not able to hear you.
I think be careful and also under...
Okay. No, so I know what you're saying, about India leading the fight and how worldwide it was acknowledged. And obviously it's going to be a great challenge for a country our size with the kind of population we have. But I think, Shaina, both you and your party need to update yourself, because now globally, I don't give any importance to, honestly, what globally anybody really says. It's about what our country and our people in our country believe. But even globally, there are now question marks being put out. There are articles being written. Experts are saying this, that India is now beginning to lose the grip on its vaccination drive, because we are moving now way too slowly. The first 2 weeks, the first 1 month, maybe, yes, we wanted to take time to understand, to set up the system. But we have 50 million doses just sitting right here, at least 50 million doses sitting in our country right here. We have, the entire private sector saying we are ready to help out. Azim Premji is writing to the government. Everybody has spoken about it to say, why are we not opening up? We haven't even heard what the plan is, let alone say, okay, we're going to open it up tomorrow or next week, which is where the concern is actually coming in from.
So I take your question in good spirits, but I definitely want to say that the Vaccine Maitri initiative, which till date has also distributed to the international world community 229.7 lakh doses to the global community. That is also a big role of India to the people of Indian origin world over. Having said that, if every state that has already gotten vaccines and has been administered with full data, be it Maharashtra, Kerala, Punjab, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, because we've been talking about how maximum cases have come from 5 states, that is a great, I would say, achievement. Because this is mass vaccination is the agenda, as has been successful with polio and other drives too. But you must understand that you say that, there are vaccines ready, but the government has to also procure funds, and most of which are done for the below poverty line. If there are people, senior citizens, people with comorbidities, we know that there are certain systems in place which take time to implement. It's not to say that if you don't get your vaccine in the next 1 month, you're going to...
Well, I would be... Okay, I take your point. But I would say I would be very, very concerned as a citizen if I am being told that the government doesn't have the funds ready to vaccinate even one segment of our country's population. I'm not even saying make it free for everybody. You shouldn't. Let the people who can afford it pay for it. But allow me, do stay on, Shaina. Allow me to just bring in 2 of our experts to really understand what could possibly be the challenges that one faces on such a large-scale mass vaccination. And let me go across to Dr. Gupte first. Dr. Mohan Gupte, good evening to you.
Good evening.
Obviously, it's not an easy task for a country our size and the population that we have. But the reports that we're getting is that even for the vaccination centers that have been set up, even for the targets that we have planned and tested for and prepared for, we're not able to meet those. Now, then shouldn't we open it up to the next lot and say at least those who want should be able to come and take the vaccine?
I would entirely agree with you that we have to give this vaccine in an open manner. It should be made available to everybody now, because we have given more than 1 crore vaccinations so far. Total population of India is close to 139 crores. So 1 crore out of 139 crores is nothing. At the same time, it means a lot in terms of no side effects that we really need to worry about. So that being the level of confidence we have already been able to achieve, we should now open it up, make it free, make it available to people in the private sector also. There are several hospitals, several other practitioners who are most willing to give this vaccine to people. The vaccine companies are willing to bring it out in the open market. They have enough stocks. Why not do it? I also hear that there are news items coming up that India will delay vaccine supply to outside world because their priority is going to be India first. If that is really so, let it happen. Let's see that the vaccine is available to Indians and can be given not only from government source, but also from private source.
Yeah, actually what you're referring to was a tweet put out by the Serum Institute of India chief, the vaccine makers for Covishield, and Nadar Poonawalla saying that, and it was addressed to the nations of the world, saying that you will have to wait. We will provide you with the vaccines, but you will have to wait a little because our government has told us to prioritize first for the Indians. Which, while I understand that we have an initiative called as the Vaccine Maitri, and China was talking about it, and we have exported, to a lot of countries for commercial purposes and even as grants, and that's good. But if we have the system ready, Dr. Thakur, and the dose is ready, then what are we waiting for? Are there still glitches in the system? Or signs of those who are getting the vaccine, symptoms of the vaccine beneficiaries are showing that is slowing us down?
I think the government had a proper plan in place and they began very well with forward. 1 month has gone by and they are planning to give it in the next month or so to the private players. However, the virus has changed the thinking of everybody, and this is where we are urging, and I'm sure the health authorities at the center are thinking on those lines, that we have to start thinking on our feet. The virus has changed the situation. We need to keep pace with the numbers that are going up. So while we are enforcing proper lockdowns and violators are being punished, we should also allow, remember the private sector played a large role in the real serious pandemic which we had in June, July and August. The same private sector is still available. They are not inundated by patients. I'm happy to see that all the patients that I have admitted in the last maybe 5 or 7 days are not so critical. There is no run on ventilators. ICUs are not so much in demand. So while that is happening, I would urge the health authorities to probably shift gears, and I'm sure they will. And they would make at least, private sector involvement. And for people who can, now I'm not into commerce, but I can say that so much money has been spent by the common man on masks, sanitizers, gloves, etc. If they have to spend a little money for the vaccine, they're not going to mind it. So private players, private buyers, people who can afford it, they should be given the vaccine. And I'm sure we have such a large, generous population that there'll be so many NGOs and gratified citizens who will make even generous donations for vaccines for that segment of society, which is 65 or 70 plus with comorbidities. So if we mop up those, even if the virus mutates and gives us a horrible mutant, we will have some degree of protection. Whether it is 50%, 80% or 95%, a vaccine is going to protect you. So take the protection. Let's give the protection. And I'm hoping and I'm quite certain that the health authorities will innovate to these ideas, and very shortly we will see that it will be available. In what form, in what commerce is out of my domain. But I urge and I strengthen everybody's thinking process that we are with you at the ground level. Please now change gears and make it available so more numbers get vaccinated. This is my plea.
In fact, if I can just take that and follow it up with another question to Dr. Gupte.
Can I come in just for a second?
Yes, China, go ahead.
One knows of the work that all the doctors, and especially Dr. Hemant Thakur and all have been doing. And I just want to say, please don't think that, there is going to be no vaccine, because if you look at Serum Institute, they can manufacture up to 50 million doses per month. And Bharat Biotech is planning 200 million doses in Hyderabad, as is 500 million in other cities. So by 2021, we will have up to 700 million capacity. So I think we are open to private players also helping the government. And I'm sure it is not for me, but for the health minister and the Honorable Prime Minister, who have done an absolute fantastic job in pacing up with the vaccination. And if you believe that the next 4 days are crucial, please understand the next 4 weeks can be transformational. You had Rajesh Bhushanji today addressing the press. And I think when he did come out as the health secretary and state facts, it reposes a lot of faith, because people who are hesitant to take the vaccine also realize that no, they must, because large number of frontline workers have yet to be covered, a lot of whom have been given, and the priority will be in the way we have suggested.
Yes, but because of the vaccine hesitancy or whatever reason, so people think that COVID's gone, they don't need it or they will take it another day. What we are looking at is, and it's in every city, the vaccination centers are prepared for much higher numbers than those who are actually walking in. And if this is the kind of scenes that we continue to see, it's only going to make the non-medical people put a question mark and say, oh, if my doctor or my nurse or the other healthcare worker doesn't want to take that vaccine, should I rush for it? Should I wait a little more? And we don't want that kind of an unnecessary doubt and, a doubtful environment that gets created. Thank you to all three of you for joining us and sharing your views. And I think roughly, viewers, now we've had 5 big medical experts tonight here on this panel. 6 big medical experts, and every single one of them have told you exactly the same thing, that they believe the time is now right to open it up to the next group, at least to bring in the private sector, to speed up vaccination, the time to slowly scale it up, to follow and track the response, the reaction, to ensure that your system is in place with absolutely no glitches. All of that is done. The doses are ready, the vaccination centers are ready, and every day we are getting calls from people asking, when is our turn going to come? The government needs to now speak to us. They may have planned for it to say, well, in March, we will decide and announce and take it to the next level. But I think people want to know now, are we ready? When will we be ready? When the doses are ready. Now, let's move to the other angle and talk about a couple of states where we are seeing strict measures because the cases are on the rise, which is why it is even more essential that states like Kerala and Maharashtra seek for a higher and a faster vaccination drive and more vaccines. Disha standing by with all of the details. Disha, in Mumbai now, we are registering 800, 900 cases every day. In the state itself, about 7,000, 6,000, 7,000 cases every day. What are the kind of steps that the government is taking, the kind of fines we are putting up?
Well, Tanvi, like you rightly pointed out, last fortnight or so, we are looking at a COVID surge specifically in the entire state of Maharashtra and also in Mumbai. In the last 1 week or so, we are seeing that how the city is reporting 300, 500, 700 and yesterday touched 900 cases, highest that we have seen since December 2020. And yesterday, when Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Uddhav Thackeray, gave a warning, gave an ultimatum to the Maharashtra, it was after seeing this, what we are showing you behind us. This is one of the most busiest road that we are showing you, Tanvi, and even after several measures that have been imposed in this state, which clearly talks about wearing a mask, maintaining social distancing, this is something that we do not see on the ground level being adhered by the citizens. We have to be careful is what the Chief Minister says, specifically in the crowded places like the station road, markets, temples. But here we are looking at another picture only altogether, and that is why we are looking at a surge not only in Mumbai but also across the state, specifically in the Vidarbha region, where people's attitude towards COVID have completely changed. In fact, as far
Disha,
as Maharashtra,
as you bring to us that visuals and the details that you got to us for the steps being taken, let me quickly go across to Dr. Manisha Kayande of the Shiv Sena as well. Dr. Kayande, we beginning to now see lockdown, more restrictions come in. But do you believe there is a bigger need to tell people that if we don't now start following these protocols, things could get worse from here?
Yes, absolutely. See, people wanted an unlock. Gradually, the CM of Maharashtra, Honorable Uddhavji Thackeray, has unlocked the city, has unlocked Maharashtra. There were demands from several quarters. He has been warning everybody from time and again. Even if you see the CM of Maharashtra, not once has he removed his mask at any place or while talking to someone or in any program. And he has set an example. And that is what he expects from people. That people remain masked And that is the only thing that can protect you. I mean, Maharashtra has been one of the most successful states in controlling COVID since past 8 months. And I think the people of Maharashtra have cooperated. But now the fear of corona has absolutely vanished and people have become careless. You see that people just don't want to wear the mask. They put it on their chin. They don't cover their nose either, nor their mouth. And I mean, people are just completely out of fear. And now with the vaccine coming in, that people feel.
Dr. Kande, we seem to have lost the audio line with you. I'm not able to hear you. In fact, we've been getting visuals from, across the state where social distancing obviously not being followed in the market, most of them not wearing the mask properly, even in wedding ceremonies, large-scale functions which are taking place in restaurants, in pubs, in bars, especially on weekends, absolutely not a sign that people are aware that COVID is present there and that they still need to continue with the same amount of precautions as we were doing, say, 3 months ago or 4 months ago. Just because these places have opened up, restrictions have been lifted, I think people have automatically just assumed that all is well and all is fine. The vaccine's almost here. Dr. Kande, we lost your audio there. Now go ahead, please.
Yes. So what I was saying is that the CM of Maharashtra, Honorable Uddhav Thackeray, has been warning right from day one not to remove the mask. If you see that the Honorable Uddhav Thackeray has never ever removed his mask. Wherever he goes, to whoever he speaks, he is always there with the mask. And I think Maharashtra has been one of the most successful states in controlling COVID. And he has done everything, whatever could be possible. And now people wanted an unlock. So things are unlocking. Now we have almost started everything. But now the situation is so that corona is again rising.
Yeah, well, I think you're right. But I've also seen that the government has started and local authorities, civic bodies have started to take action. Perhaps a lot more of that has to be done. The Mumbai police chief yesterday tweeted reminding people that we will now start chalaning you if you don't wear your mask. Some of the restaurants have been raided. Some of the banquet halls have been asked questions and notices have been sent. And I think a lot more has to be done because tough
like people,
penalties for violations.
The morning walkers, those who go to the even the seashores. I mean, people have completely forgotten wearing the mask, and they feel that the corona is completely over. So I think this fear of corona, of course, in a positive way, needs to be instilled back again.
Tough penalties on violators is very necessary, along with the constant warnings that the Chief Minister is giving. Completely out of time. Manisha Kande, thank you so much for joining us. Viewers, I think Maharashtra is witnessing the rise. They're also now responding and putting in restrictions, putting in penalties. And I think this needs to be a lesson for all the other states. States like Madhya Pradesh, Punjab, Tamil Nadu, Delhi, their numbers may be small, but they're beginning to rise. Let's not get to a point where it becomes a problem in many more states. Vaccination for a large percentage of people is still far, far away. The only solution till then is mask and maintaining your distance. Thank you for joining us.